you've cleared away the pretense, you've cleared away the heavy stuff, you've cleared away the parts that were really like lodged, right? Those bigger pieces of aha, where we go from living in the dream of the modern world to then awakening and clearing a lot of those just basic sort of ways that the typical world responds, right? And then we're like, okay, we're here, we're in the deeper aspect of life now. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. So good to be here. Thank you for listening and being on this journey and really just being willing to look at all the places inside you that just want your love, your attention, the gift of you. So Emily is here with us today. We go on a beautiful journey. She shows up looking for clarity around her purpose and her work. And typically, Emily is very connected to her inner knowing, to her desires. She enjoys the liminal space. And yet this time she's been sitting in it for a little while. And she just can't quite grasp the threads and weave them together to show her the vision and what she should do right now. So when we look at this together, what we discover is that it's actually not time for her to go outward, that the vision is still crystallizing, it's still forming, and that there is a much more potent project that's available to her and being asked of her right now. And this is her going inward. There's a tender, tender part of her that wants her attention. It wants her energy, it wants her love, it wants her devotion, it wants her time. And she has that to give. She's willing to do that, right? To sit in this place of not knowing, to know that the vision is there, to know that she is always on the path, and that right now, this personal project is what is being asked of her. And as we look at this, it really does relate back to a tender part of her childhood, which so often happens in these episodes, right? Because all of us have core wounds. We have things that have transpired in our lives that are still affecting us today in our grown-up realities, right? It's why we get so discombobulated and dysregulated, right? Because no longer is the grown-up us like stepping forward and running the show. It's the 5-year-old, the 7-year-old, the 10-year-old that all of a sudden loops back into the present moment and it takes hold of the reins. And then grown-up us, with all the tools and all the years of self-work and things that we've done, suddenly just gets in the back seat. And this younger part of us, this less experienced, more cautious, right, part of us is trying to now navigate our existence. And the beauty of these moments is when we're willing to take them, when we're willing to turn towards them and bring that part of us closer, is that we redefine who we are. because these parts of us are always looping in the background. We can pretend they're not there. We can drown them out. We can distract ourselves with a myriad of different things that we have available to us in our modern world. Or we can pause and we can really get deeply in touch with these parts. And we can work them from a mental, emotional, and an energetic perspective. And then what happens is in these places is we stop looping. And all of us arrives in the present moment. This is why in so many spiritual traditions, we talk about the present moment, because the present moment is where your life is happening, right? This is all we have. We live in this construct of a world made of consciousness. We don't even really understand what reality is. We don't even really understand how it all works. Science pretends to try to find answers, but they don't have answers to the deep, deep asking, aching questions of why. What does all this mean? How does all this work? So here we are, right, trying to piece this together. And what we do know is that we have the present moment. And yet, so much of us loops outside of time and space, either into the future or into the past. And this is not just our mind. This is our emotions, and this is our energetic body, which then layers onto the physical. So at any given moment, we are fragmented throughout time and space into many different dimensions, into many different timelines. And this isn't even mentioning like who we are as a multidimensional being. I'm just referring to this as your regular old wounding, like the things that happen to us in this lifetime on this planet, in this body. So as you can see, and as you know, it gets really wild. And where we can find the most support, where we can integrate ourselves, right, is coming into these wounds and really seeing what they need. And then being able to bring them back into the flow and bring all the parts of us into the present moment. And then when we do, we have a different way of being in the world. And so as you listen to this call with Emily, right, we go on a little journey into a past place in her life and we explore. And so think about, where are those places in you? Where do your core wounds lie? Because they're essentially living in your operating system, always there below the surface, booted up, ready to go at any given moment, right? As safety, as defense, as protection. They're not just there to upset you, right? And make you feel bad. They are literally trying to keep you alive. And this is the magic of working these places, right? Because we can rewrite that program and we can install a new operating system when we're willing to go into those places. So see how this call all comes together for you, right? What are those places in you? And then if you want to take that further, you know we have a ton of resources. School for the Soul, our Substack portal, our learning platforms, our journey program, this podcast. I do tons of events here in town in Bend, Oregon. If you live here and you're listening, look up our events page, see what we've got going on. I read Akashic Records. I do past life sessions. I do energy work. There are so many ways to support you on this journey. Come be with us. Come gather in community. Let's do this together. We're intended to do this together, and I'm here for you. I love you. Hi, Emily. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hi, thank you. Yeah, so I'm really looking for some clarity around my purpose work and my career. I've been going through a period over the last couple of years of shedding and letting go of what I thought that was going to look like. And I've just been sitting in the liminal space for a while now. And I'm feeling the threads of desire of trying to put my arms around it again. And I'm just not getting a vision. I'm not seeing how it all comes together yet. And so I would like some support with that today, please.
Yeah, thank you. So where you're taking me is to your heart. And our heart is, let's say, a beacon, right? That when we are rooted in our truth, our authenticity, and we have this openness and resonance from our heart, This is when we can bring through into the physical the guidance that is coming through from the spiritual. So we sort of have to have this apparatus set up in our body in order to facilitate that moving out and being able to like plant in the world, let's say. So what I sense in you is that I feel you grounded. I feel you connected to the earth. And then when I move into your heart space, there's a contraction. Like there's still some tender parts of you that are asking for your attention. And it's like this idea of going inward. And it's significant, right? That we're right around the darkest time of the year as this wisdom is coming through for you of taking this next cycle and going inward. Like it's not quite time for you to go outward yet. There's another cycle of your heart that wants to be tended. And then when you work with that, then there's like this opening, this blooming that happens for you where then that next chapter begins.
Mm.
So when I share that with you, what comes forward for you?
I do feel that there's still more inner tending to be done. I can sense another cycle is imminent. And I'm like seeing myself like an image of me next to a bush and I'm kind of digging at the roots, but I have to like move pieces of the bush that are outside of the ground around to get to the stem and to the roots. And so I don't know, that's like the feeling and the sense that I'm getting from it. And I feel the contraction in my heart. It's an interesting contraction because it feels like grief, but for me, my relationship with grief is such that it brings me back to what matters most to me. I find grief to be like a very clarifying experience. And so there's a contraction and a sorrow, but also like, oh, yeah, this is what's important. And so there's a remembrance that's coming up with it too. So it's like a pulsing contraction for me where there is a little expansion in it, but it's still very tightly wound.
Yeah, beautiful. What I know about the heart is that it's related to our identity. So our root chakra is about where we source our power. Our crown chakra is where we source our connection to divinity. And then our heart is who we are, right? Our identity, the truth of who we are. And it allows the earth to feed us, the spirit to give us the gifts of inspiration. And then the heart is the place where we bring them into our identity and how we're here to work with the world. And so as you look into this space, right, as you start to maybe dig a little deeper and to expose those roots of where the cause of that shifting, that crack in your identity. And so when we talk about identity as well, there's like the ego identity, right? Everything that we have created and crafted over the years of our life that we call our personality. And we build that based on the circumstances of things that happen in our life, especially when we're young. And I sort of experience it in clients, people I work with, people I know in the world, that we spend sort of the first 35 years building the layers of the identity and the personality. And then something shifts. And then we spend the next 35, 40 years peeling back those layers again to get back to the center where we started. And I see this as the process of life, right? Very few people arrive on this planet and don't have things happen. It's just the nature of where we are, the evolution of our planet, all the things. And so for you, I see you in this place of, who am I? Like, this is a beautiful question for you. And I think even when we chatted a little bit before the call, you were saying there's like this place where you're not sure what that looks like next for you. So I see that connected in here with, well, some of this process of what you're doing is discovering who you actually are underneath the personalities you've created.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the last 6 years have been a radical stripping away of all those layers. And most notably in the last year, it's been in the wake of all of that stripping, what's left? What's the essence of my authenticity? What is enduring through all of the changes and the stripping that happens in my life of the external things? And this last year, I've been really loving the process of reconnecting with my authenticity and rediscovering myself and just being completely delighted by that. And it's still a very active process. I would say that I'm still inquiring as to what else is here, what else is enduring in the essence of me. And so there's more to be unearthed, I think.
hmm The way I see it is you're getting to the good stuff. You've cleared away the pretense, you've cleared away the heavy stuff, you've cleared away the parts that were really like lodged, right? Those bigger pieces of aha where we go from living in the dream of the modern world to then awakening and clearing a lot of those just basic sort of ways that the typical world responds, right? And then we're like, okay, we're here, we're in the deeper aspect of life now. And then this is where it really starts to get juicy. And I love that you use the word delight, like, because that is really what you can now lean into, right? Is finding the delight in who you are and in that deeper aspect of yourself.
Mm-hmm. That really resonates. And something that came up for me while you were sharing that, there's one aspect of my authentic soul expression that I'm finding a block in right now that I feel like there's the image that I'm getting is like once I can make it past this block, that there's going to be like the floodgates are opening. And I just like can't quite get over the hurdle of taking the aligned action that I need to do with this. But it feels like a very important linchpin in my authenticity that is going to unleash a lot of things.
Do you care to share a little more about that?
Oh, yeah. I want to sign up for a dance class. I dance in five rhythms and ecstatic dance. I do free dance. I dance with friends. I go to clubs and I dance a lot, but I want to learn structured and like technical styles of dance. And I have inner child wounding around dance. And so I recognize that there's some healing there for me to do with my inner child. But yet, I just want to sign up for a class and I'll sit there and look at the schedule and just like panic and I can't do it. But I can feel how important it is for me to lean into this.
hmm Who told you it wasn't okay to dance?
Wow. I don't know if a specific person told me, but I have an association of unwanted attention when I dance, like of predatory male attention when I dance. And so it feels like a protection for me not to dance in front of people in that way. But I still do go out and dance in front of people. And it's weird that in these free dance settings, I feel pretty okay. And it was definitely a journey to get there because I used to just dance in my living room. But now in the structured elements, I don't know what exactly happened when I was younger, but I know I was in dance classes. I was doing ballet, tap, and jazz. And I quit them all at the same time. And I don't remember why I quit them all at the same time. But when I ask my parents, my mom, she tells me that it was my perfectionism and it was self critical and I was too hard on myself. But then I ask, well, where did that come from? Because I'm not just naturally self critical. That's a learned behavior. But I don't have an exact memory of like who criticized me and made me believe that I couldn't dance or why or when or how. But I know that it was important to me and then I stopped all of it suddenly.
Yeah, there's a moment there, right? Like something happened and your unconscious has contained it. And then what happens is the body sets up like it earmarks the page, let's say, or it captures the frame and it loops it. So now when you go to sign up for a class, your body pulls that file out and says, even though you don't remember, I do. And we don't want to go back there because last time that didn't go so well. So I'm going to, if with your permission, I can move some energy in that space for you.
Hmm.
Okay. And then feels like, do you do journey work or guided visualization or any of that kind of stuff?
Hmm.
Yeah. If you journey back, pull up the feelings that you felt back then, pull up what you can remember, and then journey back there with your little girl. Go with her. You can also take this to your dreams. There's a moment in there for you. Because for you to shut all that down just like that, and I'm not like sensing or suggesting that it was like some awful thing that happened to you, but as children, something happens and then we make it mean something. And I mean, it could be as simple as somebody said something really mean about what you were wearing that day or something. And then your young, creative mind took that and ran. And then the next thing you know, you've built this whole piece of your identity around not being safe to dance. And I would say in these settings, right, when you go to ecstatic dance and different things, you're dancing with a group of people. So there's a safety in that, right? You're protected by these other beings that are dancing with you. And you've also taught your body that it's okay, it's safe in those places. And so your body has rewritten the narrative in that place. When you look at the classes, your body's pulling out a different file, right? It's this one from way back when. So I'm just pulling some stuff off you, and then I'm going to get some of your stuff back. Okay. And this is coming in at your root. So it's related to safety, security, connection to the planet, connection to other people. So being with your younger self in those frames of memory, even if you don't get to the exact thing that happened, reparent yourself in that place. Go to the dance class with yourself, dance next to you, compliment you, build you up in that space, right? I've got you. It's okay. We're here together. It's safe to dance. You can do this. You love this. Like encourage yourself like a parent would, right? And what I'm doing energetically is putting some new data in that file, essentially, right? The pieces that got trapped and bringing them back for you to help rewrite that file and help it to stop looping. Could you get a friend to go with you to a class?
Hmm. Yeah.
That could be a first step, right? Rather than trying to have your body do this alone, bring a friend, two friends, maybe even, right? So you're going not just like from your grown up perspective, you're like, I'm just going to a class. I totally do things by myself. I'm confident. I got this. But the little girl in you is like, I'm not though. And I need some friends. I need some girlfriends to go with me. Right? Like,
Hmm.
can we, put on our princess dresses and go and fix our hair? And like, it feels like that, right? Like, she just needs a little bit of like making it fun and okay for her. And it's like having her go with the friends and they're your grown-up friends, right? But they're like her little people friends and you're the mom. So you're yourself and your mom and your little girl all in one space, which is the magnificence of being human, right? That we can be all these pieces at the same time. And then you give her that. You take her, grown-up you goes as the parent to her, and you talk her through it while you go to this dance class. Journey with her first so she gets an experience of it, and then take her with you. When you go to that class, don't believe that she's not already going, right? Go with her intentionally. She gets to sit in the car with you. She gets to pick out what dress or dance outfit she wants to wear. And you include her like she's really there. It's kind of, I don't know, like if you want to think about it from a logistical point of view, it's like, well, that's a little ridiculous. But believe me, from experience, this kind of stuff really works.
She's actually very excited about picking out the outfit. I think that
Mm.
got her really like cute and giddy about it.
Yeah, maybe she wants to pick what song you listen to on the radio when you go, or not
Hmm.
radio, iTunes, music iTunes or whatever. But yeah, like include her.
Hmm. I love that.
Yeah. Well, what are you taking away from our call today?
I'm really loving the idea of bringing her with me, like having her be there with me through every step of the process. Like, okay, little one, which one of our friends do you want to invite? And what kind of dance do you want to do? And let's look at the classes together and let's go get some fun leg warmers or, yeah, I don't know. Like, I like the idea of bringing her along with me every step of the way and not just when I'm in my reprogramming practice or my journal practice, but every step of the whole process, having her with me, that feels very sweet and very cute. And I'm really loving that. That's just like, I feel a lot of warm waves kind of cascading across my chest. And that feels lovely.
Hmm. Yeah, and your chest, right? Your heart space that wants to open, wants to be resonant with what you're bringing through. So I know that you started with sort of wanting guidance on how you're maybe bringing this next iteration of your work into the world. And where we've gone is that it's really about you exploring who you are on the inside and then taking these steps into things that feel a little spicy for you and reintegrating those parts, right? So that your heart space opens, expands, stays in the expanded space more than the contracted. And then what I also see as this cycle, this deepening into who you are underneath this place you've landed, right? Like, okay, now I'm exploring in the really juicy stuff. That is going to take you to the next chapter. But this feels really important. Like, not focusing on your career and where you're going, but it feels like what you're doing feels very supportive already. And then this piece, if you bring it along, this healing piece, you're going to be given like the next direction. But it wants to come from inside you as opposed to outside you.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Hmm. And it feels like a fun soul assignment. Like I've already been enjoying getting to know myself, and it sounds like there's more to uncover. There's more ways for me to step into my authenticity and to tend to the blocks or all of the visibility blocks that I have around that. And so I think like whatever healing that I am getting from this particular block around dance is going to have a ripple effect later. It's going to come into effect later as well as the discovery of self from within. I can really see how it's important for me to stay here a little bit longer.
Hmm. Yeah, it can be, those of us with the healer heart and the soul of service. We want to jump, right? We're like, but I want to help. I want to do it. What's next?
Hmm.
And a big part of this journey is our own discovery. And in that, then we're more available, right? We're more available for others because there's less illusion within ourselves, less separateness within ourselves. And then people feel that. And then they're drawn to that because they want to know how to do that too. Does this feel like an okay place to land?
Yeah, this is great. Thank you. I know what I need to do now. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Emily.